Welcome to the Dolphins Dive Bar. I'm your host, Tony Two Times, aka Chicky, aka Sad Boy again. It is the Thanksgiving holiday, so first and foremost, happy Thanksgiving to you out there, if that's what you're into. Let me tell you what I was not thankful for, bro. I was not thankful for Dolphins football tonight. The Miami Dolphins playoff chances take they're taking the standing 8 count right now. The Finns dropped the game to Green Bay up in Lambeau by a final score of 30-17. Miami falls to 5-7 on the season, and with 5 games left, I mean, they're really going to have to go undefeated. They're going to have to win the next 5, I think, if they if they want any chance to make that playoff, man. The Dolphins rocked the throwbacks tonight. Another throwback night, another throwback loss. That puts them to 0-2 in the throwbacks this season. Miami, week 2 versus Buffalo, they get smacked 31-10. And then tonight they get smacked 30-17. So they've given up 61 and have scored 27 in our beloved throwback uniforms. Today's drink, I'm just having a shot of the Coquito. I've been drinking this stuff all day. Homemade. Been marinating in the fridge for like a day. And, this is the good stuff. Green Bay, I don't know. I mean, would you put them in that elite team category? I mean, because they don't lose to mediocre mid teams like the Dolphins. And Green Bay's only losses this season have been to the Lions, the Vikings, and the Eagles. So, they weren't losing to a mid team like the Dolphins, right? And so I guess you could potentially put them in that elite category. And they played like it for a good chunk of the night. I mean, they outscored Miami 24-3 in the first half. Dolphins can't do nothing. I mean, so coming into this game, this is the biggest challenge that Miami has faced all season. This is their biggest test. Every cliche you want to throw at the book. It's cold weather, a winning team. They're on the road. These are the games that Miami always loses. Tua comes into it and saying, I relish the opportunity to kill narratives and all this stuff. And the game starts off with, a great field return for Green Bay. And then they go 3 and out, and you're like, oh, man, all right, Dolphins defense might be able to hold it here a little bit. No. Malik Washington, freaking scumbag, muffs the punt, right? And Malik, I don't mean, scumbag as in a human being, but that was like a scumbag play that just set the tone to really demoralize the defense and give Green Bay the football back, in a goal-to-go situation where they get an easy touchdown. Storm Duck was on the coverage. He got burnt on it. And Storm had a lot more playing today. They really relied on him a lot. And, he got burnt a few times on a couple of things. The development he's developing. I mean, what do you want? It's not going to be perfect, unfortunately. Dolphins, first actual drive of the game, I mean, it starts off with Jonnu getting a false start. And then Miami, the O-line just got beat up so bad today. Freaking every snap, the defenders, the D-line's pushing them 2-3 yards back. And so Miami could not run up the gaps today. They could not run up the middle. They couldn't barely run outside. And, they get a little cutesy on the drive with the play calling. They get 2 false start penalties on that joker, and Jonnu gets a roughing penalty, and they have to punt. So, you got 3 penalties on one drive. And they finished with 10 on the day. Green Bay ran the ball at will. They ran it down our freaking throats. By the end of the first quarter, those guys are already at 14-0. You're looking at this game dude, what does my team have? Do they even have the discipline, the composure, the heart to even make this a game? I mean, it was just so ugly in that first quarter. It's about as ugly as you can get. And then, nothing really cleared up in the second. One of the funny plays in the first half was Miami. It's a 4th down. Miami kicks the field goal, right? But Green Bay's offside. So Dolphins Well, go for it on like 4th and 1. They get it. Waddle gets the conversion. And then he wastes the play. You waste the play to Malik Washington. And then you have like a third and which loses yards. You get a 3rd and goal from the 15. You don't get it. So then you just wasted like a minute or two, and then you got to kick it anyway. They kicked the field goal. At least they scored in that half. Like I said, with the O-line getting beat up, I mean, Tua got sacked 5 times today. They weren't even blocking, it seemed, on some plays. The 4-man rush getting there, the blitz getting there. Second half, you get a huge run from Mostert on a play, called back by a penalty. But then, you make up for it. You get the ball to Jonnu, you get the ball to Waddle, get some good catches. You hit a screen pass to Achane who gets a touchdown. You're like, okay. And then the defense is starting to hold him a bit. And then, you get another drive where Hill gets it going. Like this drive was probably the most important drive of the game in terms of, trying to come back because, like I said, Hill gets it going, Beckham gets a catch. You get all the way down to the goal line, basically to the 1 yard line. You got 4 plays and they get nothing, bro. Like the 4th down, I think Toole was looking for Alec Ingold, who fell, and there's like nowhere to throw, and he takes a sack. Five times he was sacked today. So really, like the killer of the Dolphins today was themselves. Penalties, bro. 10 penalties, and these are just the ones that were accepted. They missed like 20 tackles, man. They are such a finesse team that they can't even put their heads down and like grind out a yard. Like you have 4 plays from the goal line, and you're trying to run Achane on a play. Like you got a bigger back in Mostert, and you got Wright that could probably hit a guy. Jeff Wilson, so, I don't know, he's not that big of a back, but, just when you're depending on Achane to really just do it all for you, it's like, you're not going to win like that. You're not going to win this soft finesse game in these grind them out games like that, So when you get nothing, plus you have to overcome all the penalties, plus you have to overcome all the missed tackles, people making business decisions for themselves, and, they don't like to hit people in the cold. It's just like that. It's just so mediocre, man. Like Tua, I get like Tua wasn't the problem today, but also it wasn't the solution. I mean, 37 for 46, 375 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, no fumbles, great. But you get sacked 5 times, and not all of it was his fault, but sometimes he's holding on to the ball for too long, trying to make a play and get sacked. I don't mind those sacks because, hey man, I want him to run around back there. I want him to try to get loose and make a play, because if it's not there within the first 2-3 seconds for him, like let him scramble around, let him try to get something popping. The run game fucking sucked today, bro. Raheem Mostert had 5 carries for 19 yards with a long of 12. Okay. Devon Achane, 7 carries, 14 yards with a long of 13. Tua had 2 carries for 6 yards. So as a team, 14 carries, 39 yards. That's 2.8 yards a clip. They could not run the ball. Like I said, Mostert, 19 yards, a long of 12. So 4 of his carries resulted in 7 yards. Achane, 7 carries, 14 yards, long of 13. So without that 13-yarder, he basically had 6 carries for 1 yard. How do you win like that? How do you even compete like that? Jonnu Smith, he's completely taken the reins as the leading receiver right now on this team. He had 10 catches for $113. Tyreek Hill had a better game, not up to his standards, but he was 6 for 83 with a touchdown. And the touchdown was like just a ridiculous fluky one where it bounces off of a player's hands and then it goes into the end zone and he has the concentration to dive for it to make the catch. But Waddle, he didn't have a week like he had last week. He got shut down. He had 4 for 53, man. And like just the offense couldn't do enough. I mean, Tua spread the ball around to a lot of receivers, but I mean, 17 points is just not enough, man. And the defense just sucks so bad with all, like I said, all those missed tackles. Ramsey had a bunch of missed tackles. Just looked like crap covering out there. Team had 0 sacks, bro. They could barely touch Jordan Love. I mean, they didn't even get near the freaking guy all night. He had a clean pocket, forever to throw, able to move around a little bit, use his legs. Freaking Jacobs, that dude was just running all over Miami. The guy was just running at will and just freaking mowing people over. Like, this team, man, this team was built to win now, and they fucking suck. Like, I'm sorry. Like, whatever. They fucking suck. I mean, all right, and Tua he's back, and that's great that he's back. But, I mean, what? He's he's gotten 4 wins as a starter. Yeah, in all the games that he started this season, he's only gotten 4 wins. He's lost 3 of Buffalo. And this first, yeah, so he's lost 4 now of his starts. So he's basically 4-4 on the year. He's 500 as a starting quarterback this year, and there's no offense today, man. They cannot beat the narrative that they can't beat elite teams in the cold. Tua threw well in the cold, but it's not an individual performance. It's not an individual game. It's freaking game. This team is not winning. I don't know. I'm just at a loss for words with this shit, man. 3 points in the first half. 5 sacks, 10 penalties, 20 missed tackles. After the game in the press conference, man, Jordan Brooks called his team out. He called them soft. He said guys don't want, the weather was affecting them. And I believe it because I believe what a player says. I mean, the guys can say, oh, no, this wasn't it, and this didn't bother me. But, like, the performance speaks for itself. That defense did not want to hit people, and that's why you have 20 missed tackles. Because you make a business decision that you don't want to get up in somebody's face and knock them down. And it was very apparent today. Like I said earlier, playoff chances are freaking, this might not be the nail in the coffin, but, it's, do you expect this team to put up 5 in a row? I mean, next week we got the Jets, so that could at the Rock, but that's like, that could go either way, right? And you got Houston. I mean, you can expect them to beat Houston. It's on the road against a good team. They're beatable, but can the Dolphins beat a good team on the road? Do you expect them to beat San Francisco? Brock Purdy's coming back. Are they going to go into Cleveland in freaking end of December? Are they going to be able to go into Cleveland where it's going to be freezing and pull out a win? You got a struggling team. They could do it, but as a team, are they going to be able to really play in that cold? And then the final game of the season, they're going to be at the Jets. You expect them to, that's going to be cold too. So, I mean, they're really playing. Do you call San Francisco a really good team this year? You can't, because the record dictates that they're not. But so really, you got one more like all-out ball-in team in the Texans that you got to beat. So we got 5 games left. We're gonna see what this team is made of. They've already showed us what they're made of. They already showed us like who they are. They are a very finesse team, a very speed-driven team. Like you got a center that like is outweighed by like the nose tackle by like 30 to 50 pounds. You know, these are all like finesse guys that like to try to get to the outside and get to the second level and spring more blocks so you can get downfield quicker. But, you know, when it comes to just putting that fucking dick in the dirt and grinding it out, that's not this team. Like, we have speed receivers, we have no possession receivers unless you want to call Janu the big threat, the red zone threat. But I mean, they don't even use them like that, right? I mean, they try to throw phase to Tyreek still. But I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna just end this video. I'm gonna finish this coquito. I'm gonna end the video. Go spend some more time with my family. Next week we got the Jets at the Rock, home game. So let's see if Miami can bounce back, and then maybe, I don't know, fucking grind it out for that final playoff spot. Hope Denver loses because they got a tough schedule. Miami's got a more manageable schedule, but hey, I mean, it doesn't matter if your schedule is easy or hard. I mean, if you play football in the city of Miami, you're going to underachieve. I mean, just ask the Canes, right? Let's see if they can pull one out on Saturday versus Syracuse. But with the way that secondary sucks and the way that the Cuse's offense throws, I mean, I'm not holding my breath. But anyway, this is the Dolphins dive bar, not the Hurricanes dive bar. We'll be back at this one in like 10 days from now after the Dolphins play the Jets. So salute and enjoy the rest of your holiday.